building ramp, Reno, Nevada. Wow, this is crazy. I didn't know she was doing all of this now. That's her. How wild. I have always enjoyed art, whether, making it myself in grade school or all along enjoyed art. I think of architecture as art as well. It's all in proportions and lines, and what makes a good piece of architecture has a lot to do with art and proportions. So as I said, I got my first piece when I was in college or just graduating from college, and started collecting a piece here and there that I loved. I lived in Washington, D.C. for a while. Well, first of all, I lived in San Antonio, Texas. So Day of the Dead art. Art was more vibrant, more creative. Down there, happened to work near a little gallery that was just wonderful, and ended up buying a piece from them out of school. I really started traveling more so probably 10 years plus out of college, and started picking things up here and there. But it's mostly been in the last 15 years that I've been able to travel internationally, and everywhere I've traveled, I've picked something up. I love going to flea markets or little art fairs and picking things up from artists on the street, which to me is a lot of fun, and some incredible work that's out there that doesn't have to come from an art gallery or a museum. So it's just kind of been the souvenir that I chose to bring home for myself. And then it's fun because when you have pieces of art around you that you love, it's like music or food or smells that take you back to a point in time, and a happy point in time when you can remember all of these different memories that happened while you were there. Love going places where there's an adventure component to it, and recently went to the Galapagos and then Peru, and the Galapagos was incredible. And again, from the animals that you see and things that you've never seen before in your life and you will never see anyplace else, was so much fun. And snorkeling with penguins and little baby sharks, not penguins, little sharks, and sea lions, just incredible, plus all of the fish, and that was unbelievable. But going to Peru and going to Machu Picchu and being able to hike up and down and around was just incredible. One thing we did, though, that I loved was we went to Sky Lodge, which is in the Sacred Valley, and you climb straight up 900 feet. And essentially they've taken rebar and looped it into the side of the rock and mountain as you climb up. So you climb straight up the 900 feet, and then you stay in these clear capsules. Spend the night and sleep in those, and then you get to watch the sunrise over the Sacred Valley, and you're actually still crawling up. I say crawling, but inching up when the sun goes down. You finally get to where you have to turn on a light to
wow.
see where your next hand position would be. So that was a lot of fun, and then 7 zip lines down. In one place I want to go back really bad because I feel like I didn't have enough time there is Barcelona. Barcelona has a lot of Gaudi architecture, which I love. And I spent most of my time there just wandering through the parks and looking for his buildings. And so I really want to go back and see more there.
Yeah.
There was also an early Picasso museum there.
Oh, really?
With his very early works, and what a talented portrait painter he was when he was very young, and then how his whole work started to change over time. It's very interesting. One of my all-time favorite museums is the McNay in San Antonio, and they have a fairly contemporary collection. And I used to live right next door to it, so I could walk over anytime, and I loved that. When I lived in Washington, D.C., all of the museums being free and just being able to pick any exhibits you wanted to go to. I spent almost every weekend in a museum, so I loved having that opportunity. To me, it's visually appealing. I go to see things. I remember there was something I saw on TV. I didn't get to see this exhibit, but it was when the Guggenheim had antique cars in it, and it was very controversial over whether it was art or not. And I think they're just gorgeous. I mean, just absolutely gorgeous. I would have loved to have seen that exhibit because they're just beautiful. So to me, seeing beautiful things is inspiring. Telling you, somebody recently commented that my art was all textural. And it opened my eyes because I didn't realize that. I just knew it was everything that I liked. So it never crossed my mind.
Yeah.
And when I think about the art that I want to go back, that I want to do when I retire, I love collage. Collage is my favorite thing to do and favorite medium. And a lot of my things appear to be somewhat of a collage, or there are several pieces that are, or the way I rearrange photos or rearrange things. It's all a collage to me, and how it is aesthetically pleasing to my eye. You know, most of it is street art. Not a lot of it is from a gallery. So it's just something that I'm attracted to. I think is a beautiful piece, and I think I want to live with it for a long time. So yeah, it's very interesting just to see what's out there and how accessible it is in some of these areas where I don't think of the U.S., maybe it's just Kansas City, having a lot of artists on the street that you can buy things from, or having, a weekend art fair where people set up outside like a farmer's market, only an art fair. So those things have always been really attractive. And again, sometimes at flea markets you can find very interesting things. When I was in France, the little boxes that open up, ceramic boxes. There were tons of those at kind of an antique fair that was out in the street. It wasn't really antiques, but those happened to be that you could pick them up for a really reasonable price, which I love those. They're just gorgeous. So I picked up a few of those there. There's probably a few people. There's Lisa Grossman. I have a variety of pieces of hers, but she has just started painting the Flint Hills that are all green, and in the spring, and they are incredible. And I really want one of those. I just need to watch the one I wanted at the last gallery opening she had was already sold, and so I just need to watch for that. But otherwise, it really is just finding something that I like. Well, first off, when I was in high school, my counselor told me I would never make it as an architect. So, number one, don't let anybody tell you you can't do what you love and you're passionate about. It doesn't matter. And whenever you're passionate about something and want it, there's a will, there's a way. Don't give up because of cost of school or any other things that you feel are obstacles. Talk to people, work it out, and make it happen, because there is a way, generally speaking. One of the things that I think is most helpful if you are really almost wanting to go into anything is to be a good spokesperson, do debate, take speech, do all of those things. Communicating your thoughts and your ideas is one of the best ways for you to do well in any chosen profession. And art is, I think, the same way. You want to be able to talk about your work and share that with people, because they're going to be passionate about that. I guess in preparation, do all of the work, the classes, take the right thing. The interesting thing to me about art is that it's not only art classes, but I think there is a math component to it and a music component to it, and how all of those weave together. That would be something really interesting to check into, I think. I know it's there, but I haven't done a lot of research on it myself. And what was the other part of the question that I haven't answered yet?
That was really good.
Okay.
That was really good.
So,
just any final thoughts that you'd want to give, artists or people who, just the why is art important? Why do we need it?
It's beauty.
Why is supporting the arts?
It's beauty. And everybody needs beauty in their life. I mean, that's one thing about working on churches and those that believe in a sacred space, is because beauty is important to them, mystery is important to them, to create a space that changes with light from day to night, cloudy days, sunny days, it has an emotional impact on you. And art is the same way. You can really move somebody by the work that you do. And that is so cool. So cool. It's, we all need to be surrounded by beauty and natural light.